Hello. We have a new One Piece. It is a little late. I have been busy, but I have been hyped for this chapter. I've heard from a few people that this one is pretty crazy. I was even recommended to go out and read the earlier fan translated version. A, because the translation quality is apparently higher, and B, because then I could just read it ASAP and not get spoiled. But luckily, I managed to dodge all spoilers. I'm going in fresh. I didn't get a chance to look at the fan version before the Viz version came out. And I think in general, I'd probably just rather use the Viz version. Just because we've had so many like copyright issues on this channel before, and I don't really want to tempt fate by associating the channel with something that probably Viz is very opposed to, the earlier fan scanlations. And the Viz ones, I think, are still pretty high quality. They got Stephen Paul the GOAT working on it. So I don't know. I'm like kind of curious. I might go back and read the fan translation like later and see what the differences are and see like how impactful I think of them. Anyways, all of this aside, let's get to the chapter itself. We just kicked off a pretty major flashback in the previous chapter, looking at the full and complete life of Kuma from his tragic early childhood to things unseen. We see the foundations of the Revolutionary Army coming together as he meets some co-founders of it in his youth, but then later we know he becomes the king of a country, and then after that, a government-created cyborg. Dude's been all over the map. This could be an absolutely crazy flashback. It's like interesting to me that One Piece consistently uses this pattern where you get right up to the climax of an arc. Like, probably the most extreme example is when Luffy is about to punch Wapol, and like as his fist is making contact, we get a substantial flashback about the history of Drum Island. And it's like, you would think that would kind of defeat the tension. It would cool down the hype you've been building in the present day arc. But no, I think Oda executes this by essentially getting to double dip on that hype, that you get the excitement of building up to that one climax and then the excitement again of returning to it and seeing the conclusion. But it only really works if the flashback that interrupts it is in it itself extremely hype and is chapter by chapter still full of huge revelations and twists. And I think Oda has made good on that every time he's used this pattern, and I think this flashback is going to be so stuffed full of lore and revelations about the world. We already got this very tantalizing bit of info about the Buccaneer tribe or race or family that possesses some strange monstrous powers and seems to be somehow related to the origins of pirates in general, I would think, given that Buccaneer is like a synonym of pirate. I don't know, it's crazy. It's only going to get crazier. We're starting off with Zoro annoyed at a bunch of chihuahuas. He's losing musical chairs. I like this DJ Chihuahua. Why is Zoro even playing this game? I don't even know. This chapter is called Kumachi. Okay, so yeah, they're doing this rabbit hunt where the nobles of the world have gone to God Valley, and they're taking part in this points-based human hunt. 13 super rare rabbits, 10,000 points each, 150 rare rabbits. Yeah, this is so gross. This is like gamer mentality. But it's human beings. All these freaky weirdo nobles. The one on the bottom right kind of looks like a Ghibli design. Just kind of like the haircut and the way the face is drawn. Or sorry, not the entire bottom right. Second from the bottom right. This Ghibli-esque noble. So they're giving them an hour to run and hide. Sort of. There's also some wanton killings. Oh my god, this is the showdown between the Rocks pirates, Roger, and Garp. This is like the one other thing that we know happens on God Valley, right? This is like how we first learned about God Valley is in the context of this showdown. This is all the same day. So this is Fleet Admiral Kong, back when he was, I guess, just... no. Yeah. This is when he's Fleet Admiral. Now he's like Admiral of the entire forces or whatever his insane title is. Treasure from Pirate Island. Okay, so people are thinking these little treasure chests in the background, I saw somebody talk about this, are devil fruits, which would make a lot of sense. And we know that the dragon fruit, I can't remember what it's called, it's like a fish fruit model dragon, was given to Kaido during this battle at God Island. Okay, so it's like the nobles, or the navy, or someone messed with Fullaled and got these treasures. Oh, my computer just did something weird. Oh, it's because I turned the TV off and it's like... Oh my god, this is so annoying. It just seems to like cycle through all the different monitors. Anyways. Okay. Didn't think Roger would get involved. Okay, so Roger's heading there. Garp is heading there. And we know the Rocks Pirates are heading there. We might actually get to see Rocks D. Zebek in action. Before I had shared a theory that I read where Zebek is actually like a buggy type figure that attracts insane amounts of talent around him, but himself is not actually that talented. And I thought that was kind of compelling, that could be pretty fun. I was kind of curious if they would go with something like that. But I forgot that Zebek is confirmed to have the middle initial D, and I don't think that would be like fake. And I feel like that would be pretty underwhelming if a major character named with the middle initial D turned out to be a fraud and not powerful and stuff. Okay, so the Rocks Pirates heading out from Fullaled. We're in God Valley. Oh, it's in the West Blue. I didn't realize that. I thought it was also in the New World somewhere. The Navy has arrived. The reality of this atrocity itself will be erased from history. 9,000 rabbits who live on this island. Be dead to the very last man in just 3 weeks. Is this real life or is this hell? These children, these future revolutionaries. Yeah. Just to give us hope. Yeah, this is so twisted. I mean, it goes without saying that the world government and the nobles and stuff are, like, evil incarnate and just horrible, sadistic people. But, I don't know, it's like, how does Oda dream up these things? How does someone like Oda, who tells such beautiful stories of heroics and compassion and freedom and self-expression and dignity, that has such a beautiful imaginative capacity for such wonderful things, come up with these just sad, terrible, ugh. Okay, Garland running through everybody. This, of course, is someone who may be related to Shanks. We've seen him in the present day as an older man, still high in command of the Knights of Marijois. Prizes for the event are keys to escape. Okay. These future revolutionaries working together. Ooh, so they've got the dragon fruit and the pawpaw fruit. Whoa, this is when Kuma gets the pawpaw fruit. I see. And it's good that they recognize that the paw fruit is insanely powerful. That it has this reputation already, because the paw fruit is like imba. Any of us can eat them. The dozens of us can get past the Navy blockade and escape this hell. Okay. Kuma serves as decoy. Alright. This is exciting. And I like... It's mixed. Because we know Kuma and Eva survive. The other characters, I'm like trying really hard to think of who they may be in the future, but nothing's coming to mind, so we don't know if they survive. So it's like we have some excitement and hope because we know that Kuma gets the Pawpaw fruit, and we know that at least two of them survive and go on to great and wonderful things. But it's like there's still an element of despair because I don't know, it like really could go either way. I think Oda knows that it would be both very powerful to see these poor comrades of theirs at an early age die such miserable deaths, but it would also be so hype to then return to the present, see the Revolutionary Army getting in gear, and realizing that these people have grown up, they've lived, they've survived, and now they are major forces within the Revolutionary Army, right? Either way is good. There's probably going to be a bit of both. But it's just really interesting, the writing of these flashbacks, because it lets you really play with the expectations like that. Okay. The Rocks pirates have arrived. Their ship looks friggin' sweet. Here they are in action. We got huge names. We got Whitebeard. See, this is the other reason everybody, well, not everybody, but I saw this somewhat popular theory that Rocks himself is kind of like a fraud buggy type character, is that his crew has always been talked about in disarray. That everyone was like competing with each other, nobody was totally on the same side, it was like an alliance of convenience, but they weren't really like a crew properly, they weren't really like a family. It was just like an assortment of extremely powerful, extremely like egotistical people that just wanted to be the captain essentially. And I feel like, you know, we don't see that with other crews because the captain is such an inspirational leader to everyone and is so powerful and is so great that everyone kind of falls in line. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I think it's also, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be because of that. It's also just clearly that's the type of people Whitebeard and Big Mom and Kaido and stuff were. Like, they're crazy. We see here the friggin' big names are off the charts. We got Whitebeard. We got Stussy back when she was the queen of Amazon Lily, wearing a similar outfit to Boa Hancock and rocking the big snake. We got the Golden Lion, Shiki, who was the star of a movie that, you know, felt only semi-canon because nobody ever talks about what happens in the movie in the rest of the series. But he is a canonical character. His backstory is totally canon. Chapter 0 is canon. We got the young Big Mom rocking out with Prometheus. I guess she hasn't met Zeus yet. I don't know, or he's not there. In the back, we see Chuggin. That's Captain John. He's always chugging. It's weird because when he became a zombie, he was still chugging. Was his zombie imbued with his very own shadow? I don't know. We assume he's a very powerful guy because he got this legendary treasure and he was part of this insane crew. But all he seems to be doing is swishing down the beer. We got Kaido. Kaido in the back. Kaido's like an afterthought. I mentioned him after all these guys. But he's like the most powerful creature in the world. Even back then, I'm sure he was super stacked. He's like a strong young man at this point. Who else we got? Some big dude. We got some other mysterious person. This gladiator dude looks familiar. I think there are some revelations here that we're learning some people that we've heard of are in the Rocks Pirates, but unfortunately my fandom is such that I don't instantly recognize them. This dude with the gladiator helmet. He looks like a gladiator from Dressrosa. I don't know. Who is he? This really shady guy wearing shades and giving a big grin. I don't know. Who are these people? I don't know. The Rocks crew is just insane. Okay. All right. They make landfall. Pirate crews are converging from all over. The Roger pirates are here too. This is crazy. We get Gold Roger himself. We get, of course, Ben Beckman. We're using a sword. That's not Ben Beckman. What am I talking about? I'm getting freaking Shanks' crew and Roger's crew mixed up. This is Silver's the Raleigh, of course. In the back, what's that guy's name? Copper man with the axe. There's like a big dude. There's a dude on fire. The Holy Knights squaring off against them. The one Holy Knight in the back with the cow skull, that's freaky. And then Garp shows up. Yo, in the bottom right, that's his boy. That's Bogart. Remember Bogart was always hanging around Garp? He's so cool. Now we see him in his prime, this badass swordsman. Okay, this is the craziness. He goes, tell me where to find Roger. He knows instantly that between the Rock's crew and the Rogers crew, if they're both their enemies, it's like GG. So I think right from the start, Garp is realizing I have to team up with Roger. Okay. Meanwhile, our little revolutionary brats have found the devil fruits. Attacked by some lady in the Rock's crew. I don't think that's Stussy, that's somebody. Is that Big Mom? I guess that's Big Mom. Alright, Kuma. Oh, and then friggin' St. J. Garcia is here. Huh? Insane. Your only options are slavery and death. History itself chose them for you. Doesn't make sense you were born important. There's no reason for someone to be born a slave. If I've got some kind of power, then I want to be like Nika and save as many of these unfortunate people as I possibly can. Oh my gosh, is it ending already? I wanted to see like 3 chapters of just this chaos and Garp convincing Roger to be temporary allies and seeing the Rock's crew in action. Telling that Mr. Zebek himself has not shown up. I don't know, I'm going back and forth on if this theory would just be like really hilarious or if it would be kind of a disappointment. But they're really protecting that big reveal of what the heck Rox's deal actually was. But it looks like we are leaving this, at least this chapter, or this segment of the flashback. Even though this chapter is only like half over, oh my god. This is crazy. Okay. They're in the South Blue. Some of them have survived. Kuma made it off the island. This is interesting. Okay, because remember when Kuma first showed up, the first few times he showed up, he was carrying a Bible. And in retrospect, this is really weird, because there's no, like, Christianity in One Piece. But now Oda, I think, quite cleverly has kind of tied this idea of Kuma being religious. He's not worshipping Jesus, obviously, but he's worshipping Nika. He has grown this profound appreciation of Nika, the sun god, right? So now that's kind of tied together. Man, do you remember way back when people didn't understand what Kuma's power was at all, and he was just hitting people and they'd disappear? There's people that thought he's putting them into the book. That they are now living inside the Bible that he's carrying around. That was actually a pretty popular theory, and I thought that was pretty cool because it's like really out there. But yeah, that of course didn't come to pass. Saved over 500 lives back there. Amazing. Your hands of liberation that set people free. Gonna make the most of this freedom. Okay, Eva heads off to sea. These two hang back. The giant Kuma. Oh, Guinea. Oh. This is a person that's still alive, right? This name is familiar to me, and the appearance is kind of familiar to me. I'm sure it'll hit me later. I feel like fake fan right now that I can't remember who this is. But I like this. He blasts the pain away. He's so cute, little 9-year-old Kuma. Well, I shouldn't say little. He's probably taller than me, but what a great guy. For me. Their lives are good. For once, their lives are good. Okay, insane chapter. We witnessed one of the most pivotal moments in the entire chronologic order, the entire history of One Piece. there's still so many questions that we can ask about that. Like, why did Roger team up with Garp? I actually don't know. How did the Rocks Pirates lose? How did that battle actually play out? How did the Devil Fruits end up where they were? You know, Big Mom already has a Devil Fruit, so I guess it makes sense that she would give that fruit to Kaido. But like, if their crew was dissolving and they were already at each other's throats, you got to wonder what kind of arrangement or deal she set up for that. Because we know that Big Mom gave the fruit to Kaido, that was mentioned before. We want to see Rocks Pirates split up. We want to see God Valley get nuked off the map by the Ancient Weapon. We want to see Rocks D. Zebek himself fight, right? So I don't know, like, will we ever return to a flashback like that? We got just a little glimpse, and then we moved on. But, of course, this is the Kuma story. We have many more episodes in Kuma's life to explore. And it makes sense, too, because this is all, like, it's not quite strictly things that Bonnie saw in Kuma's memories, because we had scenes of, like, Garp at the Marine headquarters negotiating with Kong and stuff. That it makes no sense for that to be in Kuma's memories. But it's mostly oriented and focused around Kuma's memories. So once the incident ends and Kuma escapes the island, we don't know what happens. It makes sense, but it's I want to know. Okay, let's look forward to next week's chapter. Hopefully it's not on hiatus, and we'll have more excitement. Bye-bye.